it is time for some Hurricanes football here as we get you ready on Hurricanes game day. Game day indeed at Hard Rock Stadium. Yeah, Virginia in town to take on 11th ranked Miami. We're ready for some U football. Yeah, we're ready to rep the U here at Hurricanes game day as always with the gentleman to my left and right, Michael Barrow, the great Kane, and Josh Darrow, of course, getting you ready for the game today. And guys, it is a game where Miami enters in with some momentum. We talked so much over the first few weeks of the season that these are the games you have to win. These key ACC matchups that maybe aren't the elite teams or the highly ranked teams, but they're the teams on your schedule that's the next step in the process. And Michael, when you look at Virginia, this is the old kind of trap game. You beat Pittsburgh. You took care of business. Wasn't always pretty, but you did it. You've got a bye week and then a team that enters today ranked on a Friday night. So how do you avoid that whole trap scenario and play your style of game and get a win today?
Yeah, no doubt, man. You said it correct. This is definitely a trap game that we got to be conscious of. When you look at last year, how we approached it, one thing that I was concerned about is that we played to the level of our opponent. When we play somebody good like Florida, we play great, but then we play somebody a little bit lower, then we play to that level, and you can't afford to do that. When I was at Miami and under Jimmy Johnson, when Florida State week, Notre Dame week, that was easy to prepare for. But our hardest practices or hardest weeks was when we played like the Dukes, the homecoming games, the teams that we're supposed to dominate, man. He would be extra hard on us. And, I mean, he would try to kill us in practice. And that's the thing that I like about Manny Diaz, how he's saying, hey, this is the most important game of the week. And it's just about this week. It's not looking ahead. It's not looking behind. It's treating every game like it's important, right, that you got to go out there and do it. So I'm curious to see how that pans out because it's one thing to talk about it, but it's another thing you got to show up and show out and go out there and do it and get it done.
Yeah, you mentioned homecoming too. There's always the excitement of that when you've got homecoming, and it's different. Look, we live in a different world. We've talked about the difference in getting up for games and not having the fans there. But Josh, when I was going over the notes for the show last night, I thought of some of the things you've said because you have harped on it like Michael did right now, that it's easy to get up for the big games, but it is these games that we know the last few years has given the University of Miami football program troubles, and this is the kind of game they need to avoid that faltering, that trap, that fall down that kind of changes a lot of times the course of where their season goes.
So it's pretty simple, right? This is where you count on your leadership, okay? And here's the other thing for Miami this week. I think last week against Pitt, it was about resiliency, right? It was coming back off of a loss, that mental toughness. This week, it's about maturity. Right? Can you handle success? Can you handle this game? Can you handle this moment? And here's the thing. I talked to 3 different coaches on the Miami staff on both offense and defense, and here's what they said about Virginia. All of them said the same thing. How tough they play, how hard they play. They won't be scared. They won't be intimidated. Remember, they're the reigning ACC Coastal champs. Bronco Mendenhall has been there now 4 or 5 years. He's instilled a culture in that team. So if Miami doesn't come ready to play, if they're hung up on their quarterback's hurt or they're 1-3, guess what? Guess what's going to happen? It's going to be a really hard football game. We know the weather's not good out today, so you just never know. So the mindset has got to be focused. They got to be locked in, and they got to match Virginia's intensity, their discipline, and how hard they're going to play. Because Virginia is not going to be scared, and they're not going to be intimidated, and they're not going to back down.
Yeah, and Michael, to his point, too, is that you know what you're going to get. As all teams, when they face Miami, they want to beat Miami. It doesn't matter what Miami's record is, and obviously Miami has a good record. But the setup for the rest of the season is interesting because this game, again, can take you a lot of directions. 5-1 heading into a bye sounds a whole lot better than 4-2. So the setup and the way the season lines up, this is a big part of that process as well.
No doubt, no doubt. Well said. I love what Josh said earlier, man. We got to take care of business, man. We got to understand what at stake. You can't afford to look ahead. You can't, just because we got that U on the side of the helmet means nothing. Every day, every time we step on the field, we got to go earn it. And that's what they got to do today. Guys got to show up. When you talk about leadership from the player standpoint, this is where leadership need to stand up. This is where they need to say all hands on deck. Let's go take care of business. Because if we take care of business, hey, 5-1 looking sweet, man, on that bye week, man. You're controlling your own destiny, and that's what we got to do.
That's what the U's got to do today, and that's what we expected to do. We'll tell you why, though, we expected to do that over the course of the next couple of hours. We'll be here at Hurricanes Game Day alongside Josh Darrow and Michael Barrow. I'm Will Mansell. We're getting you ready for the Canes UVA, a little homecoming, a little U style. We're ready to go. We've got some of the look back at the victory last week against Pitt and much more coming your way. Keep it right here on Hurricanes Game Day.
as one of the more than 1,200 physicians on the University of Miami Health System team.
I want to welcome you.
Our facilities are open.
And we're ready to care for you.
Our commitment to your health is unwavering.
And we have implemented many new guidelines to keep you safe.
We are ready to care for you.
In our facilities or virtually, wherever you are.
We're ready.
And we look forward to caring for you.
See a specialist today, in person or virtually.
Don't wait for tomorrow. Make the days count. Gatorade has carbs to fuel and electrolytes to help replenish, so you can count on the proven formula. Nothing beats Gatorade.
This year, the game plan is different. Hard Rock Stadium won't have all 65,000 of you bringing each game to life. But that can't stop you from making your presence as a Canes fan known. The Miami Hurricanes team store has everything you need for football in 2020. Find Canes apparel to wear for men, women, and kids. Represent the U wherever you are this football season. Shop now at shopmiamihurricanes.com. The COVID-19 pandemic has created challenges for all of us, but Canes are resilient. Canes are united. As an athletics department, we are facing significant financial challenges related to the pandemic, but we remain committed to our mission of building champions. We stand united in support of our young men and women and launched the Canes United COVID-19 Relief Initiative. Show your support of the Canes by making a gift today at umcanesunited.com.
On a rainy deal on national TV on Gameday. Now, but I will tell you, Pitt is troublesome, but Miami's got to win the football game. We've got to graduate from a hard loss to another loss. You can't have these 2 in a row or 3 in a row.
All right, so here's what I got on Canes. Miami usually checks out when they lose one of those embarrassing games, and a game like Saturday usually goes the other way, and I'm terrified about that because for Miami to truly be different, they need to say, okay, we'll get you next time, Clemson, and dominate their opposition. They've never done that in the ACC.
Everything you got.
They always lose these type of games. And here comes a team that's going to punch you in the mouth, and you're going to stroll out there and expect, because you're wearing the orange and green, that they're going to lay down for you, and it's every ACC loss we've ever had.
Swings the leg, and away we go. Miami and Pittsburgh underway at Hard Rock Stadium. Has a tight
There you go.
He's going to be sacked. No score first quarter. First down. Harris. Weather.
There it is.
King down the middle. Cameron Harris down the middle. He's got it for a touchdown.
And there we go. It's Cameron Harris.
Second and goal from the 6. King gives it away. No, he throws. Mowry right flat. 5, 4, 3, 2, 5. Touchdown, Miami. Long one out for Mowry. Middle of the field, he's got him at the 20. He's going to go all the way. Fourth down, game hanging in the balance for the Panthers. Yelling the throw. Here comes the pressure. Wobbles it out there. Incomplete. A wobbly pass, incomplete, and he was decked, I believe, by Silvera.
Oh, yeah.
Miami takes it.
I think that's a feeling we have right now in this locker room. You did something hard. There are people in here that are exhausted. That was difficult in the heat, and we persevered. And what did we talk about this morning, man? I don't know if I've ever seen team ball like that. In this room, we respect everybody's contribution. No matter whether you played a snap, no snaps, or all the snaps, everybody had a point in getting that wheel turning. And guys, that wheel's turning right now. It's 4-1. And that's a pretty damn good feeling.
Gotta love that winning feeling for Manny Diaz and his football team against Pitt. Will Manso, Michael Barrow, Josh Darrow here. Hurricanes Game Day segment 2. Getting you ready for hopefully another winning feeling tonight at Hard Rock Stadium. 8 o'clock kickoff against Virginia. And guys, when we talk about this team and you look at where they stand, I think a lot of Miami fans, Josh, start with the offense and all the excitement surrounding Rhett Lashley and where it stands. And we have all talked a bit about it. And it's funny how, one drive to drive and chase. Oh, hey, it's great. Oh, it's terrible. Oh, it's just the way fans are. But in general, as you watch the whole body of work so far through 5 games, Josh, what do you think about Rhett Lashley's style and this offense?
Well, I think first and foremost, when you look at Rhett Lashley, they've talked so much about playing fast, right? Simplifying it for the kids. And I think as a coach, one of the biggest things is, coaches, they consume football for a season, for a lifetime. They are experts in the field. But what matters most as a coach is really you're a teacher. At the end of the day, you have to teach your kids how to play and how to play your system. So it really doesn't matter how much you know. It really matters how much your players know. And I think with Rhett Lashley, you can see that as they've kind of simplified what they ask or made it easier for them to execute, because you don't want them thinking. You don't want your players thinking. And I think Rhett Lashley has made it easier on his kids. Now, whereas Rhett Lashley made the biggest difference, so one, we know about the big plays, right? We saw it last week against Pittsburgh. He can always draw something up when he needs it. And I kind of equate it, he's a poker player, right? He gets you to go all in, he's bluffing, and he takes all your money. And that's what happened last week. Cam Harris, we saw it, Will Mallory. He took Pitt's money. But the real difference, I think, Rhett Lashley, what he's made from a year ago is that he's winning in what I want to call the money categories. And when you look at the money categories and where Miami is performing this year over last year, you look at third down conversions. That means extending drives, and at the very least, flipping the field. You look at red zone and scoring touchdowns and not kicking field goals, although this year, kicking field goals is a plus. Last year, you couldn't even go for field goals. And then you look at something, I call it, analytically, they call it kind of the power success rate, which is third and one, third and two, kind of short distance. Last year, Miami couldn't convert at all, which means drives ended. And this year, they are much better in that category. It's like a complete 180 from where they were in these statistical categories from where they were a year ago. So look, remember, it's year one, no off season, limited spring ball. So I think, again, as you look at what Rhett Lashley is doing, you see the bits and pieces of what you can see when this thing starts to get going. And clearly our boy LL, as Michael likes to say, he is having a big-time effect. And I think the other thing, too, is what we're going to see down the road, that from a recruiting standpoint, kids are going to see this, and they're going to want to be a part of this.
Yeah, and interesting, too, Michael, as we play off that, sometimes people want, you joke about the LL stuff, and we love Lashley, and people want the sexy plays, right? The big plays that Josh has talked about. But sometimes the simplest run or play action or certain formation that you show is so important. What do you see specifically in that style that's been impressive with this offense?
Well, I mean, listen to Josh. I'm like, more money, more money, more money, more money. Hey, ladies love LL Cool J, and we love Lashley, man. He's making it rain out there. That's what Josh is saying with the money thing, man. But the thing that I like about it, man, going into the game, especially with Brevin Jordan being out of the game, you saw new personnel. For us, 21H got 2 running backs. He had Knighton and Megatron Harris out there on the same time, taking advantage of those playmakers on the field. And then also, like Josh said about, without having a spring game, right, he's still learning his player and personnel and what they need to do. So I saw him putting guys in great positions. So I saw new formations, right? I saw this pistol wishbone. But the one thing I love the most, which I think really sets our offense in gear, is the new runs, right? And we look at the runs, right? You said, I talked about the 21H personnel, outside perimeter runs, because a lot of people are blitzing us. Get the ball on the edge, man. Got nice, tough run. Then the second time, we got an unbalanced package, right? And he switched the back over right now. Here's Chaney right now, hard run. And the thing I like about it, the commitment to run the ball right after this play came back with another run. And that's what I'm talking about. Misdirection, move the chains, first down, man. And when we do that and we're intentional, man, great things happen, man. And right here, here's that pistol wishbone look I was saying. Hit him right on the gut, man. Set things up, man. I think right now, man, we are a different offense. In order for us to run our offense, to do what we do, LL, man, he committed to the run game. That's what it's about. And when you commit to the run game, then it opens everything up. It opens up. And here's a prime example. The second series of the game, let's go to this video, and this is exactly what I'm talking about. First play of the game, right? Right now, we're running the ball, quarterback design run. Now, this play actually gave us 2 dividends because it gave a benefit a couple plays later, but later on in the game, we came back the same. Second play right now, quick pass, but look what happens. All right, Dedrick King, he's running the ball, right? So look what happens, right? That wasn't an intentional run, but he scrambled. But look, here's right here. Here's what I'm talking about. Because of the run, look at this. Peekaboo, taking candy from a baby.
Open.
He got that like peekaboo fake. Man, he's able to get behind him, man.
Took
and
the money.
set things up. And it all started, right, because of the run. Right? That's the way we got to get going. When we commit on running the ball, right, it opens our offense up, and we got to continue to go through that flow. So LL start making it rain, baby. Make it rain.
Making some money and getting those money plays. Again, they're not always sexy, but they lead to those so-called sexy plays and those big plays, as you saw there with Michael. Michael, look, the victory against Pitt, Derek King had his moments. You saw the offense had its moments. We just talked about Lashley. But when you recap what Miami was able to do, you've got to go to defense as well, the defensive line. There were times where Pitt moved the ball and they were in position to get in the game or take the lead or whatever it may be. But Miami's defensive front, that D-line, made the plays to not allow them to get those touchdowns. And what was the difference when you watched and look back at what Miami did defensively on that D-line in particular?
Yeah, Will, you said so well, because I'm looking at the game, I'm like, what are we doing? It's a backup quarterback. Go get him, blitz in the house, go get him. No, but then I realized, right, it's a defensive battle that we don't have to take those chances, that we could just play our normal ball, right, and get to the ball. And one thing I like, man, and you saw it in the highlight tape, I mean, the one S is swarmage, man. Defensively, man, we were swarming to the ball, man. We was trying to get there, man. This is prime right there. Dude's trying to cap him off right there. Jalen Phillips in the backfield. But here we go, man. Swarmage! Boom! Trying to cap this dude off like what? And then he's flexing on. I see you, Bubba. That's what I'm talking about. Then the other thing, man, that we were doing that was so well is situational football, man. The D-line putting in situation right now. What Pitt did, and you didn't even know on that counter play, that was the same play that Clemson did, right? And we executed our run fits was so much better. It was clinic tape, man, making things happen. And then Quincy Roche, he was a beast. ACC Defensive Player of the Week, man, had 7 tackles, 4 tackles for loss, getting it done. And then all those guys on the D-line, man, they were eating, man. They were eating. Look, sack. Right here, Quincy Roche then took the ball from him, man, took his lunch money. My man, Nesta Siesta right now, he was all right pushing the pocket, man. But the D-line was swarming, so that's why we could be conservative, because our D-line was eating, man. They were eating up front. It was making plays, and it makes the game so easy. Anytime you get a D-line dominate like that, you could be more conservative on the back end, because one of the concerns I had with the receiver catching 100, I was like, whoa, what's happened with that? And we're going to go through some growing pains because we're playing a lot of young guys. But when you have a defense like that, man, defensive line eating the way they was eating, good things are going to happen. That's a great start. They dominated the game up front, man.
Yeah, you love to see that. You got a little bit of the offense and obviously the progression there and the improvement and the continual gradual improvement, and then the defense as well. And Michael, you highlighted, you're talking about growing pains. And Josh, we have talked plenty over the course of weeks. I know sometimes fans don't want to hear it, but young players will learn a lot of times about making mistakes and going through those pains. This is a young Miami roster for the most part. I don't think Miami fans are aware, Josh, at how many young players are playing vital roles on this team right now.
Well, look, at the end of the day, how do you build your team? How do you build a roster? How do you build towards success, right? You got to have layers and layers and layers of personnel and talent. And when you look at Miami, I think as you watch the team, instead of just looking at the result, obviously the result matters, wins and losses, but you start looking, like when we talked about Rhett Lashley and his offense, you can see the future. You can see what it's going to be like, and you can see why kids would want to play in it. And again, when you look at some of the young pieces on this team, right, this is where depth matters. You look at just the running backs. We showed it before. Don Chaney, Jalen Knight, Miami got the 2 top running backs in South Florida. That's significant. But then you dig a little deeper and you look on the defensive side of the ball and you see Jafari Harvey at defensive end or Cam Williams at the other end. You see a guy like Corey Flagg, who the coaches were high on, but all of a sudden he gets inserted into the Clemson game. He gets inserted into the Clemson game and plays well for a freshman. Or Takori Couch a week ago against Pitt making some huge plays. So Miami has got a lot of young, good pieces that Miami should be excited about. And I'm forgetting about the man in the middle, the guy that was eating, right? Harrison Hunt. So you see that 20 freshmen have played this year, right?
Yeah.
So, and they're feasting. I don't know, Michael must have did Michael write this? Freshman feasting? What's going on here? But you've got a lot of young pieces, and when you look at them, I always look at it, I don't look at it as right now. I look at it as right now and what it can be for Miami, what the future is. And I think the other thing too, where do most freshmen show up? They show up on special teams. And I talked to special teams coach John Packey this week, and he is so happy with the effort he is getting from those guys on special teams. It doesn't always show up, although I think Mike might have a little something for us here coming up. But those guys play because that's their chance. That's their opportunity. You let a freshman earn his time by giving everything on special teams, and Coach Packey is very happy with what he's getting out of that group.
And Michael, he just said it too, especially in a program like Miami, in the elite programs, and you come to Miami as a young player, you want to get on the field, you want to represent the U, and you want to put that, you want to be in that field, and the easiest way to do it, which is not always easy to do, is show something on special teams, and these players are getting a chance. A lot of these guys we see in special teams now are going to be the regulars we see next year and the next year, that next layer of talent.
Well, when you talk about Josh, talking about show up on special team, man, that's one of the keys to the victory of this game, man, because we talked about flipping the field, and the guys that show up consistently, man, we got the two best kickers in college football right here. My man Hadley, man, getting it done, man, the Rain, man, that's the true Rain, man, because he punted 60-yard punts, man, one of the highest average for a 6-game punt in history. All right, and then also Jose, I'm not Italian, Borgalis, man. He's getting it done. We got a kicker, baby, getting it done, man. Hey, right now he's automatic. I call him ATM Adam because he's automatic, man, because he's automatic. 8 for 8 this season, man, getting it done. Last year we couldn't do this thing, man. And then one of the biggest plays, arguably biggest plays in the game that was a game changer was made by what Just talking about, one of those freshmen right here. Here, Donis, man, number 29, getting it done. This outstanding great play, tackle, man. Yeah. Right now, they got what they want. This is a great call by them, but right here, this outstanding by here. He shoots it, make the play, outstanding tackle, man. Hey, those freshmen are getting it done, man. I love it, man. Hey, guys showing up and showing out, man. The special team was special this past week.
So in the Pitt recap, we talked offense, we talked defense, we talked special teams. You do those three things well, you're usually going to win. It usually works out. And the Canes did get the win. They hope to get another one today against Virginia. We're going to talk a lot more with these two guys about what Miami will need to do once a day and to get that win to improve to 5-1. And I'd say we got some sharp-dressed people right here. Michael's got the turnover chain.
Turnover, baby.
We're all repping the black and the green. We got all kinds of colors repping the U. And let's do a little best dressed as we go to break.
We understand your passion to play, your love of the game. We live and breathe it too. At our core is a deep, relentless pursuit to heal the body and alleviate pain, to rehabilitate spirits and restore quality of life, to elevate your performance. Because we not only innovate medicine, we preserve dreams and inspire futures. We are the University of Miami Sports Medicine Institute, so no matter what takes you out of the game, we'll help get you back in. We'll help you recover your game.
Sometimes, ordinary tasks can become extraordinary feats. The Joint Chiropractic helps to keep you moving through everyday life and beyond. Visit today and receive your initial consultation, exam, and adjustment for just $29. The Joint Chiropractic. You're back, baby.
It's time for the breakdown segment with our head coach, Manny Diaz. And Coach, I know you have something special for us this week.
Yeah, I got something from all three phases, and I'm going to start off with special teams. It's been so key to our early success this season, and there's some young guys. We talk about Borgalis and Headley, but there's some young guys around them that are really making a name for themselves, and I want to show them. So this is in the third quarter. We've just scored the touchdown to go up 28, I believe, to 16. So really got a chance to take momentum right here. And Borgalis does an amazing job. A lot of his kicks are kickoffs, but every now and then there's going to be one that's going to be returnable. And our guys got to cover every time, like they're all going to come out. So there's the effort of some of these players who are, their roles are going to grow more and more. I want to start off with Mike Parrott. Does a great job with us on many special teams phases. As a fullback in our program, look what he does to this player right here. I mean, that is phenomenal. That's just an absolute domination. And then look at the players running down: Xavier Restrepo, Brian Balaam, Corey Flagg. There's Sam Brooks, Avery Huff, and that's Tyreek Austin Cave. Okay, here's Michael Redding, and there's Dunson. Okay, that's the Corey Couch. Every one of those guys I just listed is either a sophomore or a true freshman. Okay, first or second year guys in the program that are, again, learning on specials, giving great effort. Avery Huff beats his block right here. He's going to bend it. You see Brian Balaam comes in. The ball's not even at the 10-yard line yet. Look how many Hurricanes are already surrounding the ball. And then watch Sam and then Tyreek Austin Cave right at the moment of truth. Corey Flagg. Look how many hats are to the ball. We're driving the guy back. I mean, look, that's phenomenal special teams. You see Dunston jumping over the pile. Look at Borgalis celebrating his teammates. Really fun to see all these young guys get down there and take pride in playing special teams for the Hurricanes.
Coach, explain how these guys earn the spot to get on this, because there's no gimmies on coverage team like this.
No. Jonathan Packey does a great job, and it's effort, attitude, and toughness. Eat. Those are the three things that we emphasize, and that you can see. Every week we want to put it on tape that we're playing with great effort, and that's why when we talk about things like that, attitude and toughness, and you see it, and you can see right there in a momentum game where Pitt's got to run a kickoff back. They're trying to get a big play. They get the momentum back after we just scored, and having so many guys, run into the guy like that sends a message to other teams that you might want to keep it as a touchback. Now I want to switch gears and talk about really another major key to winning the game is red zone scoring. So we're up 14-10, okay, and we've got 14 because we scored on 2 short fields. Well, Pitt right here is on a short field, all right, and our red zone defense and our ability to bow our necks right here. We got a 3rd down and 3. They can still get a 1st down at the 1-yard line. So this is, the data says this is a passing situation for Pitt on 3rd down and 3. So we're going to disguise like we're in, some sort of matchup coverage right here, but we're not. We're actually bringing a blitz. Frierson's going, Flagg's going, and McLeod is going, but McLeod's got to take the running back if the running back goes out. Well, he does. Well, the bad news for Pitt is now Pitt is only left with 5 blockers, 5 offensive linemen, and we've got 6 blitzers. So we've got one more blitzer than they have to block. Now the question is, who are they going to not block? We do a nice job on the back end. We kind of match up to all the quick throws. We need to work into here. So the quarterback, you can see his eye progression. He's trying to go to the back. Okay, the next read on this is going to be this under coming back from the field, but he doesn't have time to get his eyes to it, trying to work the wheel route. And there from behind, you can see Jared Harrison Hunt. Bang, goes up in there. But the guard actually fans out to block Jalen Phillips because the tackle's got to block Gilbert Frierson. And again, simple mathematical equation. You ask 5 guys to block 6, they got to cut someone free. It ends up being Jared, does a great job, actually ends up knocking the ball out. And the quarterback was very fortunate to get on it, leading to a Pitt field goal.
Coach, you go back to Roche, too. It looks like he was ready to knock that thing down, even if the ball was able to get out.
He was. He's doing a great job right there. You can see it. I mean, it's going to be a ball disruption type play. And even Frierson is able to beat his block. I mean, a lot of guys doing a lot of good things. And we keep doing those type of things. That's where those strip sacks are going to come. Of course, we got one later. So now another situation again, and here we are late in the first half, and guess what? Pitt's down on our goal line again. Another third down and one. I mean, maybe not even one. Very difficult situation. They got all their big bodies in, got their big fullback in. They have an extra offensive lineman in, a couple extra tight ends. So they're going to try and shift and outflank us over here to our left side. So look at the great job, Roche, Amari Carter. We recognize it. We're able to bump our defensive line over, get all of our numbers correct. So we've got the proper guys in the proper spot. And watch here from the back end. Boom, everybody gets set. Now watch our guys get forward. And I want you to see this line is the 5-yard line is almost 1.5 yards, 2 yards deep in the backfield. Watch how many guys in orange shirts end up on that side of the line. Silvera goes, great get off, ends up knocking off the pulling guard. Roche does a great job. That's Amari, knocks the fullback down. We've got 3 unblocked Hurricanes at the point of attack ready to make this tackle. So Quincy hits him. Bubba Bolden, great left shoulder tackle. And then just watch effort. Even a guy like Amari Carter getting off the ground. Really, really nice job. Flag over the top. Frierson right there. Just great. And that's where you see the quarterback's reaction. That's intimidating defense. And again, making someone kick a field goal instead of scoring a touchdown.
But Coach, really, you go back to Silvera. His penetration allows the perimeter to come in and make the play. They don't get cut off.
Because he takes 2.
Yep.
Right? Anytime you can take 2, again, just coming back to math, right? Because now the puller they had for one of these guys isn't there anymore. And our linebackers do a nice job of flowing. There's Sam Brooks takes the run-through gap underneath that block. So, again, just a lot of guys showing toughness, and that's what Red Zone is all about. So, really proud of the effort right there. And the last 2 plays I'm going to show is on the offense. And the first thing I'm going to show from early in the game, how sometimes a play that doesn't look great might be setting something up for later, okay? So we're going to run, okay, we got a funny formation right here. That's Cam Harris. Looks like we have 4 wideouts in the game, but actually that's our running back. That's Cam lined up out there. We have 2 wideouts over here, and that's another wideout right there, okay? That's Will Mallory lined up at running back, which is a little bit peculiar, okay? Not something we normally do. All right, and what we're doing is we're running just a lead play for Derek King. So we're going to try and block these guys right here, and we're going to lead up on this linebacker. But the linebackers, see how these guys are. This is why Pitt's really good. Look, they've got 2-on-2 over here. They've got 2-on-2 over here. So they take away everything easy, and all these guys are always freed up to be run players. And especially when your quarterback's a run player, he adds another blocker, right? Because now you've got 5 offensive linemen plus Mallory equals 6. So they devote 7 guys to stop the run, which makes sense. We're going back to math, right? But there's a downside of that. See this right here? There's nobody there. So here's a play that's not going to look great. 1st and 10. Oh, man. Boom. 1 yard gain, 2 yard gain. It is what it is, right? Well, sometimes, now, obviously, we wanted to gain more than 2. Pitt did a nice job on this play. They stunted inside and made it difficult on us. Okay, so you get what you can get. But you're always setting up something later. And here's the later. Now we're in the second half. Okay, game's kind of gotten a little bit close, but the defense came through with a big strip sack to give our offensive ball on the short field. And here we go again. Here's Cam Harris. Here's our 3 wide receivers split out of the field. And there's Will Mallory. And there's Pitt in the same structure. They've got their safeties way wide because they don't want our wide receivers to make any easy, non-contested catches. And then here's their 7-man box, okay, because they know that Derek is a running threat. So here it goes again. This is basically the exact same play, and here are the guys that made that a 1 or 2 yard gain the play before. Well, guess what? It's not the same play. So a great job by Rhett Lashley and our offensive staff, not just in play design, but setting up through the course of the game. You got to hold your water because you want to come back, you want to call it again. And it's very similar to the Cam Harris touchdown, but it's presented differently because now it's a Mallory playing fullback coming through, and the guy can't be right because if the guy covers Will Mallory, then they have a hard time stopping Derek on the running play. Because see how you've got the middle linebacker blocked, and Derek just does a nice job of putting it on him. Sometimes those are the hardest ones, right, when the guy's wide open. Does a great job, puts it right on him, and this was really the dagger touchdown right there. So phenomenal play design, phenomenal execution, but a great example of what it shows you where sometimes, those small yards gains in the first half set up the touchdowns later on in the game.
Coach, and you talk about design. If you go back and you look at the wide receivers, the guys behind, the number 2 guys behind, both of them flashed their numbers on both sides to hold those defensive backs in place so Will can get out down the middle.
That's right, because it looks like a screen on both sides, right? So both the safeties step forward. And again, this is what makes Pitt tough. They're not going to give you any easy offense. A lot of people we play, these DBs will be off and you can throw a little screen out there and get 5 or 6 yards. Pitt doesn't give you any of that. They've got every single player right now basically within 6 yards of the line of scrimmage. That is high reward for them, but there is high risk because, again, if somebody can slip through, it can create a problem like this. So, again, full credit to our staff and to the players to execute this thing to make it happen.
Okay, Coach, thank you very much. It was the breakdown segment with head coach Manny Diaz.
As one of the more than 1,200 physicians on the University of Miami Health System team,
I want to welcome you.
Our facilities are open.
And we're ready to care for you.
Our commitment to your health is unwavering.
And we have implemented many new guidelines to keep you safe.
We are ready to care for you.
In our facilities or virtually wherever you are.
We're ready.
And we look forward to caring for you.
See a specialist today, in person or virtually.
Download the new Miami Hurricanes app today for the ultimate Canes fan experience.
Welcome back to Hurricanes Game Day. We're getting you ready for the game today at Hard Rock Stadium between the Hurricanes and Virginia. Miami, 11th ranked in the nation, looking for their 5th win. A big reason they're off to this quick start. The play of Cam Harris, a starting running back who's made some big plays, and here's part of what makes him tick and has made him so good this season.
4th down and 1. UAB on top 7-0. Harris getting a lot of work early in the Miami running attack. 4th and 1 on a handoff, and Harris breaks it free across the 50, at the 40, the 30. He's going to go all the way to the end zone for a touchdown. 66 yards. Cameron Harris.
The biggest thing is he has taken care of his body. And I think he has learned the game, the X's and O's, how to do it, what to do, and when to do it. It's now second nature to him. I think he has improved in his pass protection. He has mastered it, catching the ball better this year. And I think he has learned a lot more patience.
Cam Harris, a powerful guy, but can accelerate away from contact.
For running inside the tackles. He's very patient now, being able to take what the defense give him, we call it the filthy 4. And get upfield, take the filthy 4 until they let you out the gate.
It's Harris busting into the end zone for a touchdown. Boy, he's so tough to bring down on that first tackle.
Not only on the field, it's just off the field. I try to be a better man, better person. I try to do everything that the coaches want me to do as a better person and a better player.
And the running back motto is success don't care about how you feel, it only cares about the process. And with that, what that means is that we're gonna work, and we're gonna work until we get it done correctly.
Physical guy who looks like he weighs more than 210. But he made one little move, 66 yards to the house.
It's a great way to describe it. Bruising run. Look at Harris. He does a lot of this on his own.
big fella has some speed.
Yeah, he's known as a power guy.
Harris has the edge. Big fella accelerates down the sidelines to midfield. It's a foot race. Can they angle him out? Diving for the pylon. Touchdown, Miami.
I think of violent running, and that's what we teach here in Miami.
Let's go, baby! As we come back to Hurricanes Game Day, joined now, of course, by Michael Barrow and Josh Darrow. Michael, we see a little bit of what makes Cam Harris go, and, you know, part of the highlights reference, look, he's kind of a bruiser, he's a big guy, but he also has the ability to make the big plays. You highlighted earlier, and Manny did as well in the breakdown with DBJ about getting him out of the backfield, making that play. But what is it about Harris that you like, the things you've seen so much, that he can be the guy that runs in between the tackles, but he can also be that guy that busts loose and makes the big play?
Megatron. Man, I call him Megatron, man. Not you, based on that episode we just saw, man, how he transformed his game. Not only has he transformed his game, he transformed the offense as well as transformed the team. And it's easy to look at his numbers. He's the leading rusher on the team with 380 yards, 5.8 carry for 5 rushing touchdowns. But the thing I like, which your coach mentioned, is that his willingness to do the dirty work. And when I'm talking about dirty work, I'm talking about pass protection. And he doesn't get enough credit for that. I mean, this guy does an excellent job of picking up the blitz, giving Derek King time to throw the ball. So if you go to the film right here, here's what I'm talking about doing the dirty work. Right here, Pitts is blitzing. Next job right here, getting that guy at the club, man, creating a clean pocket for him. All right, ready to go, man. Outstanding job. Here's a replay again, putting his face in the fan, man, hitting this guy, man, getting this guy at the club. All right, right here, against Florida State. They're blitzing right here. Look at him. Read the blitz. All right, able to get a clean pocket so we can complete a pass right here. You'll see the same thing from the end zone. A lot of times when you look at star players, right, we used to call this the Deion Sanders rules. Deion be like, man, I only get paid to cover. I don't tackle. And a lot of times your star players do that. But right now, Cam, Megatron Harris, man, he transformed his game, and you're seeing the dividends of that, man. I love the way this kid is playing, man. He's a great addition to this team.
You mentioned he's the leader. Look, he's the go-to guy as far as early in the game, and you pound with him. You put him in because you trust him in pass protection. But you also want to turn to the younger guys. And, Josh, you highlighted earlier in the show that the Canes went out, and they got 2 backs, 2 guys that are talented, that were, on paper, the most talented duo in all of South Florida, and Dade and Broward and Jalen Knighton and Donald Chaney. How has Rhett Lashley and how have the Canes been able to kind of work them into the offense and get them going and make them a part along with Cam as far as these backs go?
Well, first of all, they earned it, right? They got to be good enough to play. The other thing, too, is there's really no one else to play. And you want to split carries, you want to give guys rest, and you want to give guys opportunity. So that's just the kind of the nature of the running back room. But when you look at Knighton and Chaney, you know, not only the 2 top kids in South Florida, they were top 100 kids in the country. And I know when we were here, you know, talking after the Clemson aftermath, I mean, how do you build a winner? How do you build an elite team? You build it with elite talent. And Miami got elite kids to stay home. You see the 16th kid in the state, the 18th kid in the state, their top 115 kids in the country. And now you've got a foundation to build upon. We talked before about the freshmen and the young pieces. It is very easy to see that these are young pieces for Miami Hurricane fans to be excited about. I was trying to think about a duo. Who could we compare him to? And I might be a little off on one of these, but the 2 names that I thought of were back when USC had Reggie Bush, Lightning. That would be Jalen Knighton. And I'm not sure Don Chaney would like being called Lendale White, but he's more of the power guy. And so what you've got is you've got foundational pieces to build your offense around. And the key, I think, too, going back to Cam Harris, when you look at the running back room for the University of Miami the last few years, well, guys have left. Guys have left early. And I think it would be great for Miami next year if Cam Harris stays. Cam Harris would be a senior. Knighton and Chaney would be sophomores. Whoever else is coming back behind them. And that's how you start stacking your roster, right? It's hard to build and move forward when guys leave early. So if Cam stays with Knighton, with Chaney, now you've got the building blocks in place, plus whatever's coming in behind them in 21, to now you've got a running back room to look exactly how you want it to look.
And you talk about those layers on a team and on a roster, and when you got that many talented backs, that is something. Those layers, Cam goes out, gets the dirty work early. Those guys maybe bust through for the big play. Hopefully something they could do today against Virginia. Meanwhile, we've got a lot more to talk about. We got some enemy intel coming up later in the show. We're going to get you ready. We'll get Mike's keys to the game as well here at Hurricanes Game Day. But as we go to break, we're diehard fans, but there are plenty of them in your Coast to Coast Canes.
I am Sean Donovan, and I am the ultimate Canes fan. Currently, I live in Cleveland, Ohio. I became a Canes fan when I was 7 years old, which was the early 2000s. Me and all my buddies played on this. Our youth team was called the Hurricanes, and we were orange and green, just like the real Miami. We were so young, so we weren't really thinking about who we liked or whatever, but we figured out that there was a college team called the Miami Hurricanes, and they looked just like us. They had the same colors, so we saw these guys, and we basically looked at them like they were like the big Hurricanes, and we were like the little Hurricanes. Like, those were our big brothers. Man, we don't really care about Ohio State. We're like, we want to be like these guys over here. And like, all the parents, all the fans would wear Miami Hurricanes gear, and it's like literally still like that to this day. Our fandom just kept going, and like 15 years later, we're still all diehard fans. So we get together on game days whenever we can. Whenever the Canes come up here, we like to try and go. Unfortunately, the Michigan State game was canceled. We were all set up to go to that. Whenever they play Pitt up here, we go to that. The NFL Hall of Fame game, a lot of Miami fans will show up. And all the time, if you don't even have to really say anything to anybody, you just go like this, and they'll know. They'll just throw it right back. I got so much gear that I have in my house, and every time, kind of being up here in Cleveland, there's, a lot of Ohio State fans and stuff. But we just wear our gear everywhere we go. If anybody comes over to my house, you're gonna see Miami stuff up on the wall. If I go over to your house, I'm probably gonna be wearing something to do with Miami. So everybody knows that I love Miami, and all my friends love Miami. Everybody knows it up here. So.
As one of the more than 1,200 physicians on the University of Miami Health System team,
I want to welcome you.
Our facilities are open.
And we're ready to care for you.
Our commitment to your health is unwavering.
And we have implemented many new guidelines to keep you safe.
We are ready to care for you.
In our facilities or virtually, wherever you are.
We're ready.
And we look forward to caring for you.
See a specialist today, in person or virtually.
Don't wait for tomorrow. Make the days count. Gatorade has carbs to fuel and electrolytes to help replenish, so you can count on the proven formula. Nothing beats Gatorade.
This year, the game plan is different. Hard Rock Stadium won't have all 65,000 of you bringing each game to life. But that can't stop you from making your presence as a Canes fan known. The Miami Hurricanes team store has everything you need for football in 2020. Find Canes apparel to wear for men, women, and kids. Represent the U wherever you are this football season. Shop now at shopmiamihurricanes.com.
Take a look at Hard Rock Stadium where, I was out of town this week, guys, and I was told it rained a lot, and it looks like it could be an ominous night with maybe some rain tonight. We will wait and see if that is an issue, but Miami, they've got no issues so far other than one hiccup at 4-1, ranked 11th in the country, and hoping to make it 5-1 as they host Virginia tonight. Will Manso alongside, there you see him. The great Michael Barrow, the one and only Josh Darrow here on Hurricanes Game Day.
The one and only. Thank you. I got that.
You are the one and only. You're the only Josh Darrow I know. So you are really the one and only.
I don't think there are too many of me around. I'll be honest.
Listen, we got more than enough with you. That's one is enough. And we have got our Storm Tracker section, guys. We talk always about the specific matchup. And again, we'll highlight more specific on the matchup tonight against Virginia. But big picture, when we look at things, when we track things, Mike, you look at this upcoming schedule. We touched on it earlier for those just joining us now that these are the kind of games you got to win. Everybody always highlights the rivalry game against Florida State, obviously a big game. Clemson being that big game on the schedule, the number 1 team in the country. But the upcoming schedule, including the game today, these are the games Miami has to get over the hump with. As you look at the schedule, what comes to mind?
Yeah, and that's the thing, man. We control our own destiny right now. We just need to take care of business one game at a time, the old cliche. And if we do that, we're going to position ourselves right where we need to be. And it starts this week with taking care of business. We talked earlier about trap games. And right now, we can't afford to look ahead. We can't afford to say, oh, man, we do this, do that, looking at team record and seeing who lost since we got the late game today. We got to focus on doing our job and taking care of our business and not being the statistics, right? Not being a negative statistics about, oh, well, Miami couldn't handle this or couldn't handle that. No, let's take care of business. Like Josh said earlier, it's all about the leadership, not only from the coaches, but the leadership on the field, making sure we take care of business today.
And Josh, it's strange when you look at these schedules because you see the teams ranked and look, the records have already changed, and that's just the course of a game. And this is such a bizarre year. It's really hard to know. North Carolina was ranked, at the top 5 last week, then they get upset. But the bottom line is this, no matter what the record says, it's an ACC opponent Miami needs to be.
100%. And look, here's the deal. As Manny said, it's us, right? It's our standards, how we play. At the end of the day, if Miami's able to win today, they're 5-1. You position yourself for the playoff race down the stretch. So it doesn't matter who you put up there. You got to knock those guys out. You got to knock those guys out so you can get to the finish line. But there are good football teams in this conference. Make no doubt about it. I know, Virginia Tech lost today, NC State lost today, but there are 6 teams there were in the top 25 that played games actually prior to today. So the ACC is a good league, but at the end of the day, be your best on game day and play to your standard, and that's all that matters.
I joked that I was out of town this week, so I wasn't in on the meetings as much this week, but I got caught up when I get the rundown and it says, why are teams that haven't played in the top 25? And they said, let Josh take that. Why is that? You're not a fan of getting ranked without playing, are you?
All right, so I'm not going to rip off my shirt the way Mike did a few weeks ago, but I'm a little fired up about this. I'm not a big hot take guy, raise my voice, get all excited. But are you kidding me that there are teams that hadn't played games before today that are in the top 25? ESPN, after last week, put out the teams who had the best chances to play in the championship game, and 2 of them hadn't played a game. Ohio State and Wisconsin. Now, they won today, but come on. It's comical. It's laughable. I mean, it goes against every essence of competitive sports that you don't play and you enhance your chances of being in the championship game. What is that? Come on. I mean, here's my suggestion. NASCAR. It's like positioning for a race. You haven't played? Back of the line, buddy. Get to the back, earn it, and work your way into position. Miami's busting their butt. Clemson's busting their butt. The Big 12's busting their butt. SEC's busting their butt. I know it's not their fault. Pac-12 and Big 10 made decisions for health. But come on. You don't get rewarded for not playing. That doesn't make any sense. That's not what this sport's about. Earn it on the field.
Mike, by the way, I'm glad you didn't rip off your shirt.
No, I mean, I would not hurt the viewer's eyes.
The visual's there enough already. Mike, do you like it? I mean, I understand where he's coming from in the sense this is such a weird year. We've seen teams ranked that either haven't played or have just one game, and it's hard to gauge who really is good this year in college football.
To me, I mean, the fact that teams that are playing and having bad losses, right, justify Ohio State and the teams that haven't played their ranking, right? Ohio State, based on the body of work they did last year, I mean, the quarterback they played Nebraska, they beat them like 52-17. Justin Fields picked up where he left off last year. And a lot of times, I understand what Josh's trying to say, but because right now you look at it, right? ACC right now, when you look at it, North Carolina had a bad loss. All right, we lost against Clemson. So right now you only got one team, Clemson, that's ahead of the pack. And even them, they're not the Clemson of the past. They got some talent deficiency. Alabama, right? They're number 2 in the nation. You look at them, right? They beat Georgia, obviously, but Alabama defensively, right? When you see them give up that many points against an Ole Miss team that's rebuilding, it's some concerns out there. And then you look at the Big 12, only team out of the Big 12 was Oklahoma State that's undefeated. But Oklahoma, Texas, they're beating themselves, having a down year. And then the Pac-12 haven't even started. So I see why, right, they got Ohio State where they are. I see why they got teams at Minnesota and Michigan, right, in the top 25, just because when you look at the teams who are playing, nobody's really taking the lead and dominating. And the teams that are, like I said, Clemson, Alabama, they're not invincible, right? So I understand why it's a lot about potential. And obviously potential can get you fired and can have you in the conversation Josh talking about. But I have no problem with their ranking, right? Because it's just a starting point, because the championship is not going to be handed out until the end of the season. So it don't matter what ranking you get. It's all crowd noise, man. You got to prove it on the field.
I'm not even going to get on the side of the fence on this one. You both made great points. All I got to say is I'm fine with any show that we get to see a hot take or angry Josh.
You know what, Mike? My brother from another mother, no more. We are not from the same family. That's it.
See,
we're
you gotta
done.
look at it, man. Hey, this is not a presidential debate. They're not getting votes for
Wait,
it.
am I the moderator?
They gotta play
Am I the moderator?
man. It's like Donald Trump and Joe
Hit the
Biden
mute
going out
button.
and fight, man. They gotta play the game.
Hit the mute button. Let's go to break. And on that thought, a more serious topic, we know it is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and Dr. Kalfa here with a little interview with that in mind.
Dr. Kalfa, it is a pleasure to have you today to talk about Breast Cancer Awareness Month. What is the particular messaging for this time of the year?
Thank you so much for having me. And it's great to talk about this in October. In the last 6 months, we learned a lot. We are now able to provide a safe environment and safe facilities where our patients can have their screening mammography safely. Postponing a screening mammogram can potentially make one that is diagnosed with breast cancer have a more advanced stage when she's diagnosed. Having more advanced stage of diagnosis usually means more treatment. So I really strongly encourage everybody that was putting their mammogram on hold to really listen to this message and to no longer do that.
And what are some of the latest advancements with breast cancer treatment? Can you talk about some of the latest things that Sylvester is doing?
We made significant progress in the treatment of breast cancer, and over the last 3 decades, the chance of dying from breast cancer had decreased by 40%. We still have a lot to do. If the patient is diagnosed with a stage 1 breast cancer, the chance of surviving and being cured from breast cancer is more than 90%. But the chance is going down as the cancer is more advanced.
You talked about the great care that Sylvester is able to provide for its patients. Can you talk about what you have been able to take away from the patients that you take care of?
Our patients are the best inspiration and motivation that I can ask for. And they're resilient, they're beautiful, they're brave, and I'm just gonna give it all to everyone that comes my way.
We understand your passion to play, your love of the game. We live and breathe it too. At our core is a deep, relentless pursuit to heal the body and alleviate pain, to rehabilitate spirits and restore quality of life, to elevate your performance. Because we not only innovate medicine, we preserve dreams and inspire futures. We are the University of Miami Sports Medicine Institute, so no matter what takes you out of the game, we'll help get you back in. We'll help you recover your game.
Here on Hurricanes Game Day, certainly the focus is football, but in the background you saw some of the pink as well as Miami's getting ready to host Virginia tonight. It is Breast Cancer Awareness Month here in October, and it is winding down. We certainly, though, have our thoughts with those who have battled this awful disease, including the Eric King's mom, Cassandra, who shares her story in that battle right now.
Hello, everyone. My name is Cassandra King. I am a mother, first of all. I am a sister. I'm an aunt. I'm a friend. And I am a survivor. You know, I went to work every day, Monday through Friday. I went out and did my exercises every day. I did basically whatever I wanted to. I had all the strength that I needed to, to do what I needed to do on a daily basis until I got that news. I went for my yearly mammogram. And this year, my doctor was like, well, you're at that age where you need to, start getting your mammograms. And so I said, okay. So I did my physical and I took my mammogram. And so that's how I actually found out I had cancer from my mammogram. Ooh, it was a big drastic change. I mean, my energy wasn't there. All I could do was basically sit home and, try to just be as comfortable as I can because mind you, I'm an athlete. I was an athlete myself all growing up and all through college and everything. And I've never been sick, never had any kind of illness. So this was a big punch in the face for me and my family. Just seeing them, I couldn't give up on them. So just trying to be strong as I could for them and, as well as myself. So, but they motivated me to just keep going. With God first, you can get through anything. I feel like that was my backbone. I leaned on my family, but I also kept God first, and He brought me through all of this.
That's a strong woman right there, Cassandra King, and we certainly think about her as sends our prayers to her in the battle that she has had, and certainly it says a lot about her son, De'Eric, in watching that battle and seeing the strength that she has. And Michael, as we come back, we're going to talk about De'Eric King, the football player, but I think you could see, given his family, the passing of his father he had to deal with, given what his mother has now had to overcome, where he gets that strength, that grit, we like to call it, that I know that this isn't necessarily translates to football and plays, but just heart and effort. You see why De'Eric King is the way he is.
Yeah, no doubt, man. Transition of life, man. I mean, this young man had to deal with the loss of his dad, who was a friend, more than a dad to him. And then now he's got to deal with his mom battling breast cancer. I mean, it's tough. And Angela Duckworth, she coined the term talking about grit, what you made a reference to about grit is just being resilient, resolved, it's pressing on when it's easy to give up. And this guy, man, been hit in the head with so much adversity, but he's like the Energizer Bunny Rabbit. He keeps going and going on and on, and I see why. On and off the field, the challenges that he's dealing with, man, you take your hat off to him, and you just look at the film on his play, man. When you talk about him on the field, you see some gritty plays that he could have easily tapped in the towel, threw in the towel, and be like, man, I ain't taking this. But the way he run the ball right here last week, down a midline, new running play that we ran. Look at the spin move right here. Look at the toughness right here, trying to move the chains and whatnot. All right, this guy's tough right here. It's a drop back pass right here versus Clemson. Easy, the game is out of reach, but he's still fighting hard, man, showing that grit, man, still pressing on. Right here, right now, he hands the ball off, but look at him, man. Right now, being a great teammate, trying to look a block. Look at him trying to lay a block right here. All right, screen Cam Harrison loose right here. This guy's trying to do whatever it takes, man, to be successful. He's putting it all on the table, and I see why, man. The apple don't fall too far from the tree, man. He definitely get that from his parents.
And Josh, Michael calls it grit, and I think that's a great word. And I think as a football player, when you move over from the emotional side of it and just the inner strength that he has to move forward with everything he's had to deal with and overcome with his family, you look at the toughness, and Michael highlighted a hit there. My goodness, there are times where I'm watching those games where I'm just cringing, thinking that's your quarterback, man. He's taking those big hits, but yet as I'm thinking that, he gets right back up and he's in on the next play. Yeah, and look, his leadership is unquestioned. It solidified a void on this team. It was seismic and tangible. You talk to the coaches, absolutely necessary. But Michael talked about his toughness, and when I went back and started watching the Pitt game, obviously you're always looking quarterback play, decision-making, playmaking. And then I saw two plays, and I was like, these are the plays that blew my mind, and they really weren't good plays to start. But at the end of the day, when you see what De'Eric King did after he threw the 2 interceptions, and especially the second one, his toughness, his willing to lay it all out on the field, and watch what happens. He throws the pick here, and when your quarterback does this, just watch. Boom!
Receive it!
Man.
When he does that,
by the way, that's when I cringed, guys. I did cringe at that moment.
But when he does, yeah, you cringe. I get why you cringe because it's your quarterback. Most quarterbacks would never do that.
You're right.
But when they show that in the film room, which they did to his team, it only re-solidified his status on the team. When he's throwing around his body like that and laying somebody out, and Michael showed what he did against Clemson. Now remember, in that Clemson game, that was the end of the game. It didn't matter at that point. And he's still laying himself out like that. You know how much this means to him. And no player on the team, not one, can look at him and say, I'm tapping out. Because if he's doing that as the quarterback, he is all in.
And he's a leader, and that's what you want from your leader. But there's also another aspect to it, Mike, and we've got a quick moment here. I wonder, is he trying to do too much? Because let's face it, he's a transfer. He comes with success. There was a lot of expectations put on his shoulders to be kind of the savior of this offense. You think at times he puts a little too much on those shoulders?
Yeah, that's my only concern, man, is that you don't want him to try to do too much. He just got to trust his teammate, man. Here's a couple plays I'm talking about. You saw, obviously, with the interception, Josh shown, they had a roll coverage that way. He tried to force the ball in. Here's a simple zone read. Everything about this play, say, give the ball to the running back. But there's what I feel like, little stuff like that where he's trying to do too much. You'll see it from the back end zone angle right here. This end right there. Everything about this play say give it to the running back, but here he's trying to do a little too much, right? All right, next play coming up, same game right here. All right, we got a boot. He's booted out right here. Right now, everybody's covered. Throw the ball away. Look at him trying to throw the ball inside. Easily could have been a pick. And one thing I want to do, I just don't want him to do too much. Trust his teammate. Continue to run the ball, right? Take the pressure off of him, all right, and do what you do. Don't try to do too much, man, and just you'll be all right.
We know his heart's in the right place. We know he wants it just because he wants to help this team win, and he'll hope to do it again tonight against UVA. Meanwhile, as we go to break, we'll talk much more Canes football on this matchup when we come back. But right now, let's show some respect for a hometown hero.
My name is Edward O'Sheehan. Originally, I was in the Marines. I joined enlisted in the Marines after high school. So I did 4.5 years of active duty in the Marines. And after that, when I got out and was going to college, I switched over to the Army National Guard. Altogether, I've got 35 years of service. I'm currently a colonel, and I'm currently still serving in the Florida Army National Guard.
My name's Heidi Marie O'Sheehan. I actually enlisted in the Army when I was a senior in high school. I went into basic training when I was 17. I turned 18 on the rifle range at basic training. I ended up retiring in 2005 with just over 20 years of service as a captain.
After I went through Marine Corps boot camp and Heidi went through Army basic training, they then sent us to an Air Force base out in Denver for our training. And so we met at an Air Force base.
When I first met him and we first started dating, he was a Lance Corporal, which is kind of a very lower enlisted rank in the Marine Corps. And for him to have made all the way to the rank of a full colonel, I'm just so impressed and proud of him for all of his service.
Heidi deployed to Kuwait for the invasion of Iraq. And I still meet people that knew her and served with her, and always hear great things about her and what a pleasure she was to serve with. And people speak very highly of her, and it's rewarding and makes you feel very proud to hear those things.
My favorite job with the military was definitely serving as a TAC officer with the Florida Military Academy, training future officers. So even though I'm retired now, I see that as a way like my contribution carries on, because a lot of people that I trained are still serving and are now senior officers and kind of carrying on that service. So I see it as a way that my service continues.
Just being part of the military, just being part of the national defense of the United States, and being in the National Guard is also great, because when hurricanes come or disturbances and being able to help the citizens of Florida, I've really enjoyed that.
It's such an honor. I think all military people, we don't do it to be thanked really, but also very humbling and very much appreciated.
Been a season ticket holder, so I've gone to the games and seen people come out, and whenever anything happens with the military gets recognized, or there's a flyover at the game, you just see people coming together And to actually be part of that myself now, it's quite an honor, and I thank you for that.
We understand your passion to play, your love of the game. We live and breathe it too. At our core is a deep, relentless pursuit to heal the body and alleviate pain, to rehabilitate spirits and restore quality of life, to elevate your performance. Because we not only innovate medicine, we preserve dreams and inspire futures. We are the University of Miami Sports Medicine Institute, so no matter what takes you out of the game, we'll help get you back in. We'll help you recover your game.
Back, we've got a lot to discuss here as the Canes get ready for Virginia inside Hard Rock Stadium. Hopefully the weather will hold off and the Canes can improve to 5-1. But as we return to Hurricanes game day, guys, it's time for enemy intel. To give you some intel though on the Canes, they will not have Brevin Jordan again for a second straight game. The unavailability report coming out a short time ago. Brevin is out. He's got that shoulder injury. The positive, I guess, Josh, is that you get the extra week 2 with the bye, and hopefully then with 3 weeks off, Brevin is ready for the stretch run. When you look at the offense, though, where we start an enemy intel with Virginia, why is it that we can't just get a situation where you know who the quarterback is for the team and they play? Second straight week that we're wondering who's going to play quarterback. But in this case, you've got musical chairs of quarterbacks potentially for Virginia.
You got 4 guys that potentially could play tonight. So when you look at Virginia, first and foremost, right, they're got the hard hat on, right? And here's Brennan Armstrong. This is where he got hurt against NC State. Now, we talked about targeting last week. This is targeting. Ooh, and that's a hard hit. But you look at Virginia, it's going to be some misplaced personnel. They're going to have odd personnel sets, a lot of motions and shifts, run the eye candy. As you see here, that's Lindell Stone. He's the guy that came in for Brennan Armstrong against NC State. He threw it 54 times in that game. You know, you see the outs, take the grass. Wake Forest and NC State played kind of off coverage, so I would expect maybe Miami to change that a little bit. Mm-hmm. Billy Kemp there is a great receiver. He's certainly got the arm strength to throw it to the out. But you got to credit Virginia's coaches, right? Armstrong goes down. They bring in Lindell Stone. He is prone to the turnover. Virginia's turned it over a bunch of times. But against Wake Forest, they didn't just go with Lindell Stone, number 36. You start watching the tape, you go, wait a second. Is that Wildcat? Who is that? And that's Ira Armstead. He's a quarterback. He wears 98. And you're like, all right, so they went Lindell Stone. They went with some quarterback, draw, lead, zone to get some more foot speed out there. And then they bring in Keontre Thompson. I'm watching the film going, wait, 98, 90. Wait, is that the same? That's a different guy. They played 3 quarterbacks in the game. And look at it. He can move, right? Those 2 quarterbacks combined for 130 yards against Wake Forest. And now Brennan Armstrong's been cleared to play. So who is going to play? Miami doesn't know. But you know what, Virginia, you're going to get, like I said, those shifts, motions, mostly the short passing game. They're going to take their shots as well. Michael will touch on that. So I think where other teams have had success against Virginia when they've been aggressive, linebackers, blitzing, applying pressure, and I think at the end of the day, whether it's Armstrong, Stone, Armstrong, Thompson, whoever it is, right? At the end of the day, Miami wants to take away the run and put it in the quarterback's hands and say, this is how we're going to get this game. That's what I think the key is for Miami playing Virginia. Now, put the ball in the quarterback's hands, you got to stop the run. That means you got to stop Wayne Talapapa. You got to stop number 21. And to me, he's the epitome of Virginia's team, right? You don't really know who this guy is. He's not a big conversation guy, but look at this hard-nosed, rugged style of play. We talked about Virginia earlier. What did all the coaches say from Miami? hard-nosed, disciplined, play for 4 quarters, tough. Look at this guy, taking on 1, 2, 3, 4 guys, and he powered
one for
himself
each syllable. Tala Papa. There we go.
Tala Papa into the end zone, but you see it every time. You see it every time with this guy. He is a tough, north-south, hard-nosed runner, going to break tackles and do whatever. Look at the end of this film here, right? You think he stopped on the 1-yard line? Twisting, turning, doing whatever it takes to score for Virginia. And to me, he is the model for Virginia football, right? Just a guy no one really knows about, but he's tough, hard-nosed, gets the job done. And so now he's running the ball. The quarterbacks are running the ball, as Mike always says, right? Do your job, keys, eye on the luggage. Miami's got to do a good job of taking that away, right? And then whoever the quarterback is, because they've turned the ball over a lot this year. Virginia has. It doesn't matter who the quarterback's been. You got to force turnovers and make them throw beat you throwing it. In part also the weather today, right? So put the ball in the quarterback's hands. Let the D-line eat, as Mike likes to say, and let the DBs on the back end make some plays.
Mike, you mentioned those DBs. Josh mentioned those DBs about, for Miami. What do you look at when you look at the receivers, no matter who the quarterback is? Does UVA have some weapons? What do you look at strategically when you look at what they want to do with the receivers down the field and get the ball in their playmakers' hands?
Yeah, and Josh talked about it. I mean, last week they had over 200 yards rushing the ball against Wake Forest. However, don't get it twisted. Their pass catchers are the playmakers, all right, on this offensive team, regardless who at quarterback. Like Josh talked about, they like to do quick game, passing game, but we can't fall asleep because what they'll try to do a Houdini and do a double move and try to beat you to deep. All right, and no matter who's at the quarterback, one of the quarterback's best friends, arguably, when you look at the film, is the tight end. And they got a great pass-catching tight end. He's one of the top 5 pass-catching tight ends in the nation right now, Pojan. And he gets it done, man. Big, nice target, 6'7", get it done, man. All right, we got to be able to be conscious on him, have tight coverage on this guy. And then on receiver, you got the leading ACC receiver right here, Camp number 4, leads the ACC in reception, average 9 yards reception. And in addition to that, you got this dude, Wilt the Stilt Davis, 6'7", yes.
A big dude.
6'7", freshman receiver, man. Hey, he got marks.
Get up.
Is doing it, man. And we got a tough challenge. We got to shut this freshman down. I know last week we had another freshman that had a great game against us, and he's probably saying if he could do it, I could do it, because this guy here leads all freshman receivers in the nation. So we got to stop him. He's averaging 20.3 yards a carry. And so we got to make sure we got a sound cover. So our DB's got to be on point. And we've been doing a great job, but we got to continue to do that. At times we have brain farts, all right? So looking at last week's game, here's an example of what I'm talking about. When we're on, where our eyes are in the right place, and we got great eye discipline, we got great technique, we're able to get it done, right? But when our eyes are in a bad place, when you look at what happened last week, a lot of those stuff, I talked earlier about self-inflicted wound, had a freshman receiver, had over 100 yards, and a lot of stuff, not taking anything away from him. He's a good receiver, but some of those double moves, things like that, it's our fault. So go to the tape and you see what I'm talking about. So right now, here's a great example of eye discipline, what I'm talking about with Bubba. Bubba had a great coverage right here. Right now on that number 3, we're talking about our safeties on that receiver. Excellent coverage right there, man. When we got our eyes in right position, we can make things happen. Almost end up being a great interception. Just a pinky toe out of bounds, right? But, man, great job right there, man. But it all started with great coverage. And then Couch, we talked about especially same on number 3, outstanding. Hey, as soon as that receiver, hands in the basket right there. Look at him, get his hand in between the basket. Outstanding job. That's the tight coverage you need. And then right here, quarterback scramble, Al Blaze. Hey, man, eyes on his luggage. Great finish. Outstanding job. And those are things that we got to carry over to this game. We got to win those one-on-one battles against their playmakers at receiver. And if we can do that, we'll get it done.
Michael, I've got you sort of on topic, but I'm just curious because since Josh highlighted the musical chairs of quarterbacks, as a defensive player, when you're preparing in the week, obviously you want to do what you want to do defensively, but you are keying in on certain players. So does it make the challenge tougher when you don't know exactly who the heck is going to be in there and from drive to drive, or does that not matter for defense?
It doesn't matter because the thing about them with their quarterback Armstrong, who's may play or may not play, basically what they did was they said, okay, we can't replace him with one guy. 36 Stone is not that type of guy. He cannot run, right? But 98 and 99 can. So what they're doing is just playing musical chairs and trying to get the offense that Armstrong produced by himself. They're now trying to split it up. So it really doesn't matter from our defensive standpoint who's ever on the field. If they got 98 or 99 at a quarterback, it's easy for us to, because we go to our Wildcat set. All right, regardless who's at the field, we're going to make them beat us with the pass. We're going to pack the box and make them run the ball and prove to us that you can throw the ball. So it really doesn't matter from that standpoint. No matter who's at quarterback, the game plan doesn't change. Virginia's going to run their offense regardless. They're just tipping their hand based on if 98 and 99 at quarterback, then now you know it's more run emphasis.
Get your roster ready, man. You got to keep up with all those numbers, all those QBs, all those guys shuffling in and out. We'll see who's healthy, who's ready. We'll certainly talk more about this matchup, including enemy intel part 2, the defense, when we come back here on Hurricanes Game Day. But for now, as we go to break, how about some Canes in career?
Dane, thanks so much for joining me today. What led you to want to go to the University of Miami when you were going through your recruiting process?
Thank you so much for having me. I lived pretty close to home, and I've always been a huge fan of Miami. It's a great school to go to, not only for education, but a great history in athletics. So it was kind of a no-brainer for me to make that transition.
And what are you doing now? Tell us all about what you were doing in your professional life.
Well, I just started training, so I can't speak too much on my experience, but I'm just started my job at Citibank, not in New York, but I will be working in New York as a corporate banking analyst. So it's kind of similar to investment banking, but we work more with the debt side of companies, try to raise debt.
And how did the Miami Herbert Business School prepare you for what you are going to be doing for Citibank?
Well, I had not just one degree, but 2 degrees, so I definitely had a lot of preparation. Honestly, my favorite part of the business school was the professors. They always took the time to really help me out. So even though I loved the classes, the material, just the professors taking the time and really guiding me, that helped me a lot. And the interviews can be kind of stressful and difficult when it comes to banking. So they definitely helped me prepare for that a lot.
All right, as we come back here, you see Miami players getting ready here on Hurricanes Game Day for their matchup at 8 o'clock against Virginia. What you won't see tonight is a handful of guys out. I mentioned Brevin Jordan in the last segment is out again with a shoulder injury. Also unavailable tonight, Brian Balaam, Corey Flagg, Michael Redding, and Xavier Restrepo. Kind of unexpected, some of these guys out. Josh, what does it mean when you've got those guys out, what it could hurt, in particular maybe on special teams?
Well, it's just the world we live in this year, unfortunately, and you know, every week's its own week, and you just never know what you're going to get. Mm-hmm. So I think with Corey Flagg, right, we talked about young pieces. He's emerged. He's played. He's played linebacker on defense. He's been in that rotation with Sam Brooks, Zach McLeod, and Bradley Jennings. So thank God they have depth there. But he's a piece that's missing. I think with the other 3 guys, we talk so highly about Miami on special teams. It's the next man up mentality. Yeah. You know, Coach Packy's got to adjust, put the next guy in, and then those guys, most likely. Well, you know, it's funny. I don't know who's going to go in. It could be an upperclassman or a freshman. So if you're an upperclassman, it's, hey, I got to do whatever it takes to win this game. I got to add on to my contributions and responsibilities. Or if you're a young guy like we talked about, this is it. It's my time. Yeah. It's my time, and it's time for me to help this team win.
Something to look to tonight in the matchup against Virginia as we look to enemy intel part 2, and that's the defense. Michael, we turn to you with the defense, and let's talk about Virginia as a whole. We talked a bit about their offense, what they like to do. What's their scheme, style defensively when you look at it?
Well, defensively, man, they're a 3-4 scheme, man. They like to attack. They love blitzes. They love blitzes the way Bubba Gump loves shrimp. They love middle pressure. They love out corner blitzes. They love safety blitzes. I mean, they're trying to blitz everywhere up front, and it starts with the front seven with the killer bees up front. They got Braggs and Burnell, who's outstanding job leading the team with 3 sacks, and then a linebacker, the fantastic 4, man. They getting it done. All right, right now you got Jackson right here, number 6, man. They send their linebackers, like I said, they love pressures. And then Taylor, number 7, he does a great job again to the quarterback as well. Right now, he's currently the only player in the nation who has over 20 tackles, 5 tackles for loss, 2 sacks, and 2 PBUs. So a lot of times, like you see, they're trying to eat, man, and they're doing a great job trying to get it done. And so we just got to be prepared. We got to protect. All right, everything starts up front with this front 7, and we got to do a great job protecting. And then once we protect, right, it's going to give us some shots on the back end. Now, on the back end, all right, when you look at it right here, once we get protection, all right, that's Taylor right there. I mean, I just love the way that dude play. All right, he's one of those do-everything linebackers, try to get it done. But what I was saying about their DBs as well, on the back end of DBs, right, this aggressive bunch on the back end. They're not pressing like Pittsburgh does, right? But they're definitely ball hawks. And you'll see based on the film, all right, how they attack the ball, all right? And they're led by their safeties, all right? Number 29, all right, and number 28, right? Blunt and Nelson, they do a great job. This is Nelson right here, had 2 picks this game. All right, he's a guy you'll see him come blitzing off the edge as well. And then now they try to get things going. And then right here, number 30, Amos. So he's a guy that comes in on nickel situation, cover receivers. So you see they get their hands on the ball a lot. So we got to do a great job of winning those one-on-one matchups, right? Winning those things, make it happen. We got to be great with the quarterback as far as with his reads, not trying to force the issue like we talked about earlier, trying to do too much, right? Because they're going to give us some opportunities. As you see, we can't afford to have to turn the ball over because this is a great bunch on the back end, right? But from us, it's always about us, what I was just talking about. Because they're aggressive defense, because they like to take chances, right? We got to make them pay, right? When they're blitzing, like I told you, they're like Bubba Gump, man. They love pressures, and they love all different types. You go to the film right here. Here's against last week against Wake Forest, right? Here, you got middle pressure. 2 linebackers blitzing right here, right? Man, with great protection, we got to make them pay. This is what I'm talking about. We got to make them pay. We got to do a better job of our receivers winning run-on-one pass opportunity. Same thing. They got corner blitz. All right, great pickup. Right now, we got to make them pay. All right, they're going to give us some opportunities. If they're aggressive enough to pressure us, then we got to make them pay. All right, we've been doing a great job on picking up corner blitzes. Here's the matchup I'm talking about, our receivers against their safeties, right? We got to get it done. Last week, it was a similar game plan, right? Pittsburgh defense, very similar. Same situation right here. We got pressure, got great pickup. We got to make them pay, right? And Pittsburgh got away with one because we were going to make this dude pay. But look at it. He's get there early. Here's our guy. Right? And right now, we got to make these guys pay, man.
Yeah, and
hey, Mike, you're good. You're good, Mike. I was calling for the flag.
What was that? What's going on, baby?
Sorry, I was calling for the flag on that piece.
You got the official coming out of.
I heard something. I'm like, what's happening?
You're good. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
That's a football player mentality. You're always ready. You're always looking at your surroundings, man. You're ready for whatever's coming your way. I'm curious,
Hey, I was looking like him when he was looking for the flag. Where's the flag, baby?
I love it. Always prepared. You too, Josh. I think I put on my Canes fan homer hat on, where I'm kind of thinking, who is going to step up and make those plays? Mike talked about making them pay at receiver. Let's face it, we talked about it last week. Miami receivers haven't made a lot of teams pay per se so far this year. At some point, that's got to change, especially in games like this where the opportunities will be there.
Well, here's what I like. Here's what I like how the coaching staff addressed that. Right? What has every former player said about playing at Miami? Mike can address this too. The best competition's on Greentree. And what did they do this week? They opened the competition. They said best man wins. Right? I don't care if you're a senior, a junior, a freshman, redshirt freshman. It doesn't matter. How you perform this week, how you perform on the practice field, that will dictate who plays on Saturday. And look, there's no sugarcoating it. The coaching staff knows. It's been well documented. These guys and players need to step up. But the thought process is also they just need one play, one big play, just something to kickstart the offense and kickstart that room so that it can start moving in the right direction. But on the flip side, if I'm looking at it from the player's perspective, right, if I want to maybe frame it through their lens, think about what they've been through the last few years. The wide receivers in that room, they've had 3 different coaches. That's hard. They've had 3 different guys telling them how to play wide receiver, okay? So one guy tells them one thing, and they just start to get the grasp of that, coaching change. Another guy tells them something else. You got to get into a routine on the, what's that? On the defensive side of the ball, okay, on the defensive side of the ball, right? Manny's system's been in place. People know how to play. So in the wide receiver room, they're still getting adjusted. And by the way, they weren't dealt a fair hand because, again, with COVID, this not being a normal year, you've got a new system in place. So a new system, no spring ball, no offseason, new quarterback. So does that allow me to pass the buck? Is that an excuse? No, they have to play better. But at the same time, I think we can maybe rationalize and understand, in part, why they might be struggling.
Yeah, there's certainly validity to that, and I think to Michael's point as well, I think there's certainly going to be opportunities tonight for someone to step up and make those plays. You know who would love to see it? That's wide receivers coach Rob Likens. We know he would love to see that, and we love to see the coach mic'd up right now.
Billy, I'll be in later on for my 2.5-hour arm workout. Yep, yes, no problem. Just like I do every day. Hey, fingertips over top of the wrist. That's all you got to get. It doesn't have to be high. Just get it across. Yeah, you want it here, not here, right? So you got to bend the knee, which I wish I could bend my knee right now. Blocking for that. It's a bubble. Oh, you're talking. I thought you were Jeremiah talking to me, right? There. It's perfect. You mean this? You know what that does? Gets rid of all distractions, and I can just look at the shoulders. I put my fingertips over top of their shoulder pad like this, and I watch their shoulders if they pop up, give any indicators. Let's go. Keep thinking. Great practice today, okay? Be a leader. Go out and get it, man. We got to have a great one. What? That's Silver Fox. That's Silver Fox right there. What's wrong with my hair? Yeah, go ahead. Oh, God, yeah. No, they ain't gonna remember. One of those, what do they call those things? All kids have. Yeah. You gotta hit this field like Braveheart, baby. Let's go. Yes, there you go. Good route. Good route. Excellent. Nice. Down the orange line. Good. Tight turn. Nice. Punch. That's it. That's it. Good, Mike. That's a good route. That's what we're looking for. Right there. Go, 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 go. That's it. That's it. Get it out there. Get it out. Get it out. Get it out. Up, up, up. Shoulders gave it away. Keep coming back! Keep coming back to the quarterback! Keep your shoulders down, Keyshawn. Get through. Do our drill. Through. Pop, 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 pop. Now come on back down. That's it. That's it. Bandit, what do you think about Coach Diaz?
He's a phenomenal human being. He's outstanding.
As one of the more than 1,200 physicians on the University of Miami Health System team,
I want to welcome you.
Our facilities are open.
And we're ready to care for you.
Our commitment to your health is unwavering.
And we have implemented many new guidelines to keep you safe.
We are ready to care for you.
In our facilities or virtually, wherever you are.
We're ready.
And we look forward to caring for you.
See a specialist today, in person or virtually.
De'Ara King leading the way for the Miami Hurricanes tonight. The Canes quarterback has been such a big part of Miami's 4-1 start, their success early in the season, and hopefully some success tonight inside Hard Rock Stadium with another ACC opponent in town in Virginia as Miami looking to move to 5-1. Will Manso, Michael Barrow, and Josh Duro here. We're taking you up to the top of the hour. Hurricanes football there from Hard Rock Stadium. But we've got the part of our show that we like to call Rings or Chains, and it is not only our opportunity to kind of test someone on what they can expect tonight, but test a special someone, an alumni who has been a big part of the University of Miami football program. Every week we get to talk to one. Today we get to talk to Bill Hawkins from our All-American defensive end from Miami, kind enough to join us now. And Bill, if you can hear us, first of all, it's great to see you. We appreciate you coming on. And the first question I always love to ask the guys is, how have you been? What are you up to? Catch up Canes Nation right now, all the U fans, and how you've been doing.
Well, I'm doing pretty good. You know, I got a family now. I got a bunch of kids to take care of. I went to law school at a school that will remain unnamed because I had to pay for it. But I'm slowing down in that too. You know, I'm 54 now, so that happened to be the number I played with at Miami. And yeah, you know, everything's great. Kids are going off to school and college pretty soon, so everything's wonderful.
Great to hear. Great to hear.
Hey, Bill. Hey, man. Hey, good to see you, Kill Bill, man. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing fine, Mike. How are you?
Hey, man, I'm doing good, man. Hey, Bill, man, you had a fabulous career at Miami. And besides the winning the championship in '87, obviously being an All-American, what made your time at Miami so special, man? Talk about that.
It's the guys, you know what I mean? It's the guys. I knew there was something special. I went to the first national game against Nebraska. That was back when a high school kid who was playing ball could actually go to a bowl game, I think, anyways. But anyhow, I watched, you know, the Canes play hard for the whole night, and then, you know, I decided to go there. I could have gone anywhere. I was really close to going to Stanford, but then the first game we did that kickoff classic against a guy by the name of Bo Jackson. I don't know if you guys remember that. I know I'm aging myself, but you know, we beat Auburn and there was just magic and it never left. The whole time I was there, I knew it was special. Didn't know how special, but it was just the dynamics of all the different guys from different backgrounds giving it up for each other. It was awesome.
So, Bill, you kind of segued into what I wanted to ask you. Jerome Brown, rest in peace, just legendary player and personality. Can you, for air, a good Jerome Brown story or two?
Oh, my goodness. Well, since the statute of limitations is long past from everything that we did on the 86 team. Now, Jerome was a force. I mean, that's all there is to say about it. Obviously, a great football player, could just take over the game if he wanted to, but he was also a big teddy bear. I mean, I was lucky enough to play next to the guy. So any tackle I got in the 86 season, I owe to him because nobody tackled me. They were double and tripling him. He's just a great guy and had your back. There was a guy named Kevin Fagan before me, and I remember those two were big buddies. And Jerome, I mean, just a great player, wouldn't take any garbage, I'll tell you that. He did give it out, though. But all I can tell you about Jerome, and I did go to his funeral, and it was sad as could be, but I left uplifted. His life was spent doing what he loved to do and doing it well.
Legacy of a great Cane, and certainly so many that you got to play with and won yourself as an All-American, went on to the NFL career, as you said, now working in the legal realm. And but here's the time to put on your, I guess, your Alex Trebek. We ask the questions, whatever, maybe kind of a little game show kind of feel to it, because we have something we call rings or chains, Bill. And basically, it's offense or defense. You got the touchdown rings, you got the turnover chain. So we ask you a question of what you think will happen tonight and kind of see if you could predict. So let's go with question one. We'll show you how it works. Let's do question one, see how you feel. Tonight, what is more likely to happen in your opinion? What do you think will happen? A Miami wide receiver will have 100-plus yards receiving, or a defensive player will create 2 turnovers in this game and get that turnover chain twice. What are you going with, rings or chains?
Come on, Bill. Come on, baby.
Yes, both, man. Why can't we have both? Come on.
We want to see both in a perfect world.
The guys in the back don't know what to do. The crib.
Spoken like a true lawyer. Spoken like a true lawyer.
Yeah, you got to do that. I mean, if we're going to go one way, it's going to be defense. But I can see both of those happening. Easy.
Yeah, we'd love to. And one of the things we talked about, Bill, during this show is, the Canes receivers obviously have to get it going, make some big plays. It'd be nice to see a Canes receiver tonight have a 100-plus game and those defense create those turnovers. Now, this is almost a secret. I have not seen question 2, so why don't we put up the graphic first so I'll know exactly what question 2. I don't want to screw this one up. All right, here we go. Here's your ringer chain. Bill, is Will Mallory going to score 2 TDs tonight? We saw him get one the other day. This kid is special. Big tight end. Brevin Jordan is out again tonight. Or will Al Blades, keeping that Canes tradition, have 2 interceptions? What do you think?
I'm going to go with Blades with the 2 interceptions. He's a great player, and again, I hope everything works out on both sides of the ball. But it's a turnover chain, man.
Yeah, you go with the defense, and I guess to keep in rhythm. I mean, you're a defensive guy, and if they're going to be, you said somebody's going to create 2 turnovers. Why not Al Blades? I kind of go with you on that one. All right, Bill, the last one. Let's put it up so we can all read it together and see what we got here. Rings or chains? Cam Harris, who we highlighted earlier, is such a talented running back for Miami. Will he score a rushing and a receiving touchdown? Remember, he got a receiving touchdown last week. Or will this defensive line just go nuts tonight and get 6 sacks and make you and all the other great Canes of the past very proud of that defensive line?
Let me tell you something. This defensive line is no joke. I mean, they are talented. I couldn't hold their jockstrap. They're so good. I think 6 sacks is doable tonight, and I think they're going to harass the hell out of the other quarterback. I mean, it's ridiculous how good those guys are. I hope they don't get to see this before the game.
Spoken. That's okay. We'll keep it here. Spoken like a true Hurricane.
Oh, what happened?
Oh, we almost had a turnover. We almost had the turnover. That's okay. Turnover chain, and we got it. We got the chain out there. Listen, Bill, it's so good to see you, and it's always great to catch up with guys. There's something about this U family, though, isn't it? That when you bring back those memories, the stories start going, and it could go on all night, right?
Well, yeah, but it's really hard to do on-air stories because there's so many other stories that just need to not be told. But no, it was fun. It was the best time of my life, with the exception of my marriage and my kids. Okay, hon? Thanks. But yeah, it was just special. It was magic, and Miami's a magic city, so it was awesome.
Yeah. And, listen, we talk about it every time. What's great to see, too, is you went on to an NFL career. You've obviously a beautiful family and a great career, so it's just great to see what the University of Miami makes of young men into grown men into successful men in the business world. So, Bill, thanks for the time tonight. Enjoy the game and go Canes.
Thanks, Bill.
My pleasure. Thank you, guys. See you, Mike.
You got it. All right.
Thanks, buddy.
Bill Hawkins with our rings or chains tonight. We're not done here at Hurricanes Game Day. When we come back, we got Mike's keys to the game. Josh, you ready to rattle? Oh, yeah. They're coming your way right after this.
Are those janitor keys?
Sometimes, ordinary tasks can become extraordinary feats. The Joint Chiropractic helps to keep you moving through everyday life and beyond. Visit today and receive your initial consultation, exam, and adjustment for just $29. The Joint Chiropractic. You're back, baby.
As one of the more than 1,200 physicians on the University of Miami Health System team,
I want to welcome you.
Our facilities are open.
And we're ready to care for you.
Our commitment to your health is unwavering.
And we have implemented many new guidelines to keep you safe.
We are ready to care for you.
In our facilities or virtually, wherever you are.
We're ready.
And we look forward to caring for you.
See a specialist today, in person or virtually.
Getting you ready for Canes football. Man, it's always so good to see the guys in the orange and the green and those beautiful helmets getting ready for Canes football. We're getting you ready here at Hurricanes Game Day, taking you to the top of the hour. Virginia and Miami from Hard Rock Stadium. Miami looking to improve to 5-1. To do it, you ready to a little shake, rattle, roll, Josh? Because with Michael Barrow here, we've got time for your keys to the game. Brought to you by your South Florida BMW Centers. The keys and the floor is yours, Mr. Barrow.
First of all, man, hey, the keys to the game, man, offensively, we got to move the chains. Just so Josh shaking the thing right there, we got to move the chains. We already know the secret sauce, right? It's the running game, man. We got to be committed on running the ball. When we run the ball, man, it sets everything up. Also, what I learned from the Clemson game, hey, we got to have a positive play on first down. It took us 10 series before we had a positive play on first down. We got to keep the chains moving. We got to execute on offense. We can't have those self-inflicted wounds with penalties. Number two, we got to make them pay. Already talked about enemy intel as far as there's a blitzing defense, man. They love blitzes. Like they send blitzes, middle blitz, all different types of blitz. If they're going to pressure us, We got to protect our quarterback, and we got to make them pay over the top. Our receivers got to win those one-on-one matchups against their safeties or their deep or their corners. We got to catch those 50-50 balls and make them pay. Also, defensively, Josh mentioned this. This team turns the ball over, right? They're going to have maybe a 3-headed or 4-headed quarterback going on. Hey, quarterbacks are the number one issue of ball that they turn the balls over. We got to tackle these guys. We got to take the ball out. We got to create takeaways on defense and make them pay. All right, and then if they try to throw the ball over top with good eye discipline, stay on top, catch the ones they throw to us. And then number 3, don't take the cheese. All right, we already talked about early in the game. This is a trap game, right? We can't afford to look ahead. We got to show up and show out today. Offense, defense, special team, roll call. We got to get this thing done. We can't just look at the record and say, oh, man, it's an easy win. No, we got to go out there and we got to earn it. So it all starts with the mindset, be ready to go. This is a game for us to show up and show out, and we got to go out there and dominate, man, and get this thing done and take care of business. TCB, take care of business. The way you take care of business, you can't take the cheese, right? We need to be lactose intolerant where we can't have any dairy products, man, because we don't need to be farting on the field. We need to take care of business and be ready to go, man.
I wasn't ready for that. I wasn't ready for, in my mind, I'm thinking, I just spent a week in Boston on vacation. I had way too much dairy, but I didn't know that's where that was going. That's the key. Now that, folks, you will not get better keys and more incisive, in detail keys to the game than that right there.
That might have been the biggest key to the game.
Don't take the cheese. Take the money. Take that money, as Josh said earlier. We were talking earlier.
But Mike wants him to eat. I'll show he's talking about eating. Then he doesn't want him to take the cheese. I mean, how does that happen? How can you eat and not take the cheese?
Don't take the cheese. You can eat, but don't take the cheese.
Vegan.
No dairy products.
Eat vegan. No dairy products. Do whatever it takes. But
we don't need no brain farts out there, man. We
get
need to
the
take
win,
care of
man.
business. TCB.
No gases involved in this one. Those are your keys to the game presented by your South Florida BMW Center is presented by the one and only Michael Barrow. When we come back here on Hurricanes Game Day, we'll continue to get you ready. Top of the hour, Canes, Virginia. We'll also show you the item of the game, final thoughts as well, and we got some band of the hour as well, so don't go anywhere.
King to throw. Again, lets this one fly. Harley's open. He's got it at the 10, at the 5. Harley spins into the end zone. Touchdown, Miami. 38-yard touchdown for De'Ara King. Miami leads it 20-6. De'Ara King brought the imagination, and Harley brings the rocket fuel.
This year, the game plan is different. Hard Rock Stadium won't have all 65,000 of you bringing each game to life. But that can't stop you from making your presence as a Canes fan known. The Miami Hurricanes team store has everything you need for football in 2020. Find Canes apparel to wear for men, women, and kids. Represent the U wherever you are this football season. Shop now at shopmiamihurricanes.com.
We understand your passion to play, your love of the game. We live and breathe it too. At our core is a deep, relentless pursuit to heal the body and alleviate pain, to rehabilitate spirits and restore quality of life, to elevate your performance. Because we not only innovate medicine, we preserve dreams and inspire futures. We are the University of Miami Sports Medicine Institute, so no matter what takes you out of the game, we'll help get you back in. We'll help you recover your game.
Download the new Miami Hurricanes app today for the ultimate Canes fan experience.
Yes, be very smart with the mask as the fans that are at Hard Rock Stadium. It is needed, and it's certainly great to see them wear it, and also great to see the pink there. Yes, fight indeed for a cure. Breast Cancer Awareness Month. We highlighted it earlier in the show, and we continue to talk about it now as we get ready for Virginia and Miami at the top of the hour. Will Manso, Michael Barrow, and Josh Darrow. And guys, our Eye on the Game is a special one today, and I put this one up as you see there. You see the pink color there. All because of Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So cool to see this shirt. Very comfortable shirt is our item of the game. You can go and get it. You can available in store or online at shopuofmiami.com. At shopuofmiami.com. Really comfortable shirt. Really, really cool shirt. But I love to see, as much as we love the green, we certainly love the pink as well when it comes to the message of breast cancer awareness. And guys, we talked about earlier, we heard from Cassandra King, De'Ara King's mom, who is a breast cancer survivor. She has battled that, and it was so incredible to see. A big reason why De'Ara is the young man he is. So go ahead and buy that in-store, online at shopuofmiami.com and represent, not just in the month of October, which is almost done, but throughout, wearing that pink for breast cancer awareness. Guys, as we're aware of what's going on in the country, we talked earlier about the big picture and the storm tracker. Some crazy stuff going on in the country today. Josh, what did you just hear is happening in college football?
So Michael, Indiana, unranked, beat number 8 Penn State.
Oh boy!
In overtime.
Oh boy!
Yeah, I just wanted to mention that about those rankings for the teams that haven't played yet. I just wanted to pass that along.
Well, hey, and that's what I told you. To me, it don't matter, man. It's not an election where votes count at this point. It's all what happened. You got to play the game, so they can rank them as how they want. But this is why we play the game, right? And so it's stuff like that, what you're talking about, the point you're trying to make, hey, man, they haven't played. They should be ranked in a high like that. But, hey, it'll all sort itself out, man. They took that L, took that loss, and that's a bad loss right there because, like you say, Indiana wasn't ranked. So that's what I'm saying. I'm not even worried about the ranking because it's going to work itself out. And if Miami take care of business like they're supposed to do, and every time they step on the field, they come ready to play, they're going to position themselves to have good things happen. That's all I'm worried about.
And to your points, we talk big picture. Clemson won today, Alabama won today, Notre Dame rolled today, Ohio State, which is, playing for the first time, rolled today. You had the upset Indiana beat Penn State 36-35. You had in the ACC, NC State, which is Miami's next opponent after this, following a bye, getting beat up pretty good by North Carolina, who just lost last week after being in the top 5. So I think I'll leave it at this, guys. You're both right. You're both right, and in the end, none of it will matter because if the team that keeps on winning, they're going to be standing there. And if you're Miami, you hope that you're standing there in an ACC title game with a chance to get some revenge against Clemson. All right, and if they do so, you always love to hear the Band of the Hour, Frost Band of the Hour, and we got a chance to listen into them there in that Hard Rock Stadium to get us ready for some Canes football tonight.
Hey, Hurricane fans, it's time to show your spirit. Give me an M. Give me an I. Give me an A. Give me an M. Give me an I. What's that spell? Who's gonna win? Let's keep the spirit going. Give me a C. Give me an A. Give me an N. Give me an E. Give me an S. Whoa, Hurricanes.
We understand your passion to play, your love of the game. We live and breathe it too. At our core is a deep, relentless pursuit to heal the body and alleviate pain, to rehabilitate spirits and restore quality of life, to elevate your performance. Because we not only innovate medicine, we preserve dreams and inspire futures. We are the University of Miami Sports Medicine Institute, so no matter what takes you out of the game, we'll help get you back in. We'll help you recover your game.
The COVID-19 pandemic has created challenges for all of us, but Canes are resilient. Canes are united. As an athletics department, we are facing significant financial challenges related to the pandemic, but we remain committed to our mission of building champions. We stand united in support of our young men and women and launched the Canes United COVID-19 Relief Initiative. Show your support of the Canes by making a gift today at umcanesunited.com. This year, the game plan is different. Hard Rock Stadium won't have all 65,000 of you bringing each game to life. But that can't stop you from making your presence as a Canes fan known. The Miami Hurricanes team store has everything you need for football in 2020. Find Canes apparel to wear for men, women, and kids. Represent the U wherever you are this football season. Shop now at shopmiamihurricanes.com.
Sometimes ordinary tasks can become extraordinary feats. The Joint Chiropractic helps to keep you moving through everyday life and beyond. Visit today and receive your initial consultation, exam, and adjustment for just $29. The Joint Chiropractic. You're back, baby.
This is the way we always end the show, and that's with the Miami Hurricanes ready to put on a show and come out of the smoke. So as we prepare here to wrap up Hurricanes game day and watch some Canes football, Michael, final thought on what happens tonight, what needs to happen tonight for UM?
Hey, man, TCB, man, take care of business. It's time to show up and show out. Don't play to the level of your competition. Set the standard, man, and go take care of business.
Josh, and that theme, taking care of business, another ACC opponent, it's just that next opponent in front of you. No matter the ranking, no matter the record, it's a game Miami needs to win.
60-minute fight, get ready to play hard. On defense, be in a mood to tackle. And on offense, like Mike said, got to make plays.
Canes have been making plays to start off 4-1. If they start off 5-1, the luxury, as Michael said earlier, it's so nice to go into a bye week and be 5-1. Hopefully get some guys back, including Brevin Jordan, who, if you're just joining us here on Hurricanes Game Day, he is out tonight, the second straight week with that shoulder injury. But no excuses. It's that next man up mentality. And there you go.
Yeah, baby. The smoke.
Out of the smoke. And if we need to recreate it, out of the Lysol and whatever we need. We've got.
I need some smoke over here.
I'm ready.
I'm
ready. Let's go.
We got to ship the smoke out the box. We do. We got everything ready. So Hurricanes football coming your way. We hope you enjoy the action. We'll see you in a few weeks back here at Hurricanes Game Day as Miami tonight inside Hard Rock looks to improve to 5.